Hello and welcome to day 2 here of the British Gas Swimming Championships 2014. Now, what an incredible event we've had so far. It's a 4th session and it's day 2 here at Tollcross International Swimming Centre. Now, we're going to be here on the live feed for the rest of the event, as we have been already, giving you live up-to-dates on all the action, all the heats, all the semi-finals and, of course, all the finals, those all-important results. Now, I'm not here alone for the rest of this event. No, I'm joined here by the lovely and the very experienced and knowledgeable Kerry-Anne Payne, Olympic silver medalist. Kerry-Anne, what's it like being on this side of the pool?
It's a little strange being on this side of the pool. I do kind of every now and then want to run over, or I have to keep looking at my watch thinking, oh, I need to be in the call room somewhere or something like that. But I'm really enjoying it. It's been such a great kind of process to talk about things and really enjoy what I'm doing here. So I'm really loving it so far.
And it's been great to have you here because, of course, you're our expert for this event. So you're giving us all the knowledge, behind the scenes kind of stuff, because you obviously know a lot of these swimmers very well. So you kind of know how they're training and how their training's been going, and information from their coaches as well. So it's been great to have you here. Now, we've been discussing quite a lot about people are here for the Commonwealth Games selection process in 2014. It's a little bit complicated to say.
Yeah, it is quite a complicated process, but we did have a chat about it earlier, so have a look at this and see what you think.
So here we are discussing the selection process for the English team for the Commonwealth Games 2014. Now, Kerry-Anne, it's quite a complex process, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's a maximum of 36 athletes that can be selected on the team. And it's not a qualification time, but it's more a nomination process.
So how can our swimmers be selected or nominated?
So there are these nomination times, and athletes will really be wanting to go underneath that time, as far into that time as they possibly can, but we'll not find out if anybody's made the team until next Wednesday.
Okay, so we have a swimmer this evening, for example, gold medal, has a great swim, has a great time. They won't then find out if they've been nominated until Wednesday next week.
Yeah, and they might not even make the team. So the athletes will be judged on how high they are on the FINA ranking system. So if an athlete isn't high enough up on that ranking system, but they win the event, they might not be selected.
Okay, so it's quite complex, it's quite difficult. So remind me again, how many swimmers can be nominated?
So there's a maximum of 36 athletes that can be nominated.
And how can they be nominated?
And they'll be nominated on how high they ranked on the FINA ranking system.
And they find out, of course, on Wednesday of next week. Now, don't forget, you can get all live, up-to-date action here on the live stream as we bring it all for you for the British Gas Swimming Championships 2014. We are indeed, so make sure you keep tuned all the time. Now, if you've got any questions for Kerry-Anne, which I know a lot of you have had lots of questions for you, you've been answering the questions very well as well. So any questions that you do have, within reason, of course, then send us a tweet. Kerry-Anne, I'll let you, I'm not very good on Twitter, I'll have to say.
Yeah, we've had this discussion a few times.
We have.
So if you want to send us any questions, send some to myself, which is at Kerry-Anne Payne, or to Hannah Creelman, and we'll try to get her on Twitter a bit more. So it's at Hannah Creelman1, and make sure that you use the hashtag, which is hashtag BGSC14.
Now, we've got lots of other events coming along this year, so take a look at this information on Swim Britain. So, Ross Davenport, very exciting event taking place this year, Swim Britain.
Yeah, that's right. Swim Britain is happening this year in September all around the country. I did it last year in Coventry, and it's a fantastic event for the family to get involved, test your swimming skills. You can do it with your friends as well. It is a relay. I signed up to the 1,000 metre last year.
Okay, 1,000 metres, quite far to swim for some people, younger children. They can take part in it as well, can't they?
Yeah, of course they can. There's the 500 one for the children, but it's just fantastic to get involved. You sign up as a relay team, and it's just absolutely brilliant.
So that's in the pool, but on the 7th of September we have an open water event, don't we?
Yeah, that's right. In Blenheim Palace in September as well with the open water, and you can sign up to be a part of Jack Burnell's team. He is doing the 1,500 metres here at the British Gas Swimming Championship. So if you want to be a part of Jack Burnell's team, you need to put your tweet in, your hashtag, I want to be a part of Jack Burnell's team, hashtag Burnell.
And how do we sign up? What's the web address?
Well, the web address is right here. It's swimbritain.co.uk, so www. and you can sign up to Swim Britain this year.
Well, make sure you do that. Sounds like a great event. Are you going to be going there, Ross?
Of course I will be, yeah. I'll be joining your team.
Brilliant. We'll see you there then. Obviously, I won't be competing against Ross. I don't think that's a very good idea. So, Kerry-Ann, loads of action to come tonight. So, what's our schedule for this evening?
Well, it's quite a busy schedule this evening. We'll start off with the junior men's 50-metre butterfly final, and then the junior women's 50-metre breaststroke final. Straight then into the junior men's 200 freestyle final, and now we start with the senior finals, which is the men's 50 butterfly final. We'll have Ben Proud in there, and the women's 50-metre breaststroke final, which will be the first time for the breaststroke girls and Sophie Taylor to see what they've got. We have the men's 200 metres freestyle final, where we're hoping for another British record from James Guy. We'll also have the women's 50-metre freestyle semi-finals with Francesca Halsall in that one. The men's 100-metre breaststroke semi-finals, where I'll be looking at Adam Peaty to see what he can do tonight. And then we have the women's 100 backstroke semi-finals, where we'll have Lauren Quigley and Elizabeth Simmons into the men's 400 IM final, which is where Robert Pavoni is definitely going to show us what his true colours are. Then we're into the women's para 100-metre freestyle. And then we have the men's 100-metre backstroke final, the women's 100-metre butterfly final, where I'm sure we'll see Fran doing another swim in that one. And then we're finishing off with the juniors, so it's the junior men's 400 IM final, the junior men's 100 backstroke final, and the junior women's 100-metre butterfly final.
Wow, so it's quite an evening of action. So, Kerry-Ann, I'm going to be picking your brains later for all that information. But let's see what Bob Ballard has had to say about the events this evening.
Day 2 of the British Gas Swimming Championships meant a quick turnaround for many of the swimmers involved in finals from the first day. The 200 freestyle for men as eagerly anticipated as the 400 had been, and the same protagonists were involved. First and second in the 8-length event went head-to-head in the final heat. James Guy versus Nick Granger, who took 3 seconds off his time in the 400 final, trimmed his time this morning by around half a second, finishing 0.17 behind Guy, who seems to have plenty in reserve for tonight's final. Fran Halsall has been the British queen of splash and dash for almost the last decade. The 50 freestyle her domain, and it's rare not to see her clock the fastest time in the heats, but on this occasion she didn't. No alarms though for the 2-time Olympian, even though she was headed by Sian Harkin in the new best time for her of 25.38. One of the most eagerly anticipated events of the whole programme is the men's 100 metres breaststroke. In theory, half a dozen swimmers could win it, but it's a man who just missed out on making the World Championships last year. Derby's Adam Peaty was keen to lay down a marker in the heats. 60.03 has certainly done that. Watch out, Ross Murdoch, Michael Jameson and Craig Benson. This boy means business. Georgia Davis, the fastest Briton in the 100 backstroke this year, just quicker than Lauren Quigley and Lizzie Simmons this morning. She'll be looking for a sub-60 time later after posting 60.85 this morning. They also both went under 61 seconds. And Lewis Smith, the quickest Briton this year in the 400 IM, was just about the best of the bunch in the heats of that event this morning. 4:19.92 his time. City of Sheffield's Max Litchfield doing a new personal best for him of 4:20.33. Roberto Pavoni a second adrift of that.
So, an evening of action. Kerry-Ann, who have you got your eye on tonight?
Well, I really can't wait to see James Guy swim again, and it has to be Adam Peaty for me. Even though it's a semi-final, I'm sure that he's going to do something spectacular tonight.
Spectacular, I like that. And what spectacular thing do you think he's going to do?
Well, it'd be great if he could get really close to that British record. So, you know, around about 59.6, 59.5, that would be brilliant.
Yeah. Now, some people have said we're going to have to keep a camera on you because you'll be running up and down, very excited. But now it's over to Bob and Ross for the commentary.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Kerry-Ann. Here we go. First event of the evening for us is the junior 50 metres butterfly final. 4 going to start here. Shaw Muscroft of City of Manchester in 3, Adam Taylor of City of Sunderland in 4, Craig Bauman of Carnegie representing Scotland, 3 Englishmen in this one. John Slater is the other one, and he goes in lane number 6. This is the junior splash and dash.
It certainly is, and we'll be seeing the seniors later on this evening, but let's see what the juniors can do. Let's see what time they can produce, because these are the future of British swimming.
Looks like we're going to see an Englishman win it. Adam Taylor looks best placed and gets it. 24.62 is his time. Fastest he has ever been by about 0.2 of a second. Second place going to John Slater, and Craig Bauman in third place. Winning time again, 24.62. John Slater, 24.91.
All those 4 guys in that final doing personal best times. So it's fantastic to see that they're standing up delivering on the very first final.
First time John Slater has been under the 25-second mark as well. So a good 2 PBs for the opening 2 on that race. Men's 50 metres butterfly, or rather junior men's 50 metres butterfly to start off proceedings. Right, we're going to move on almost immediately to the women's 50 metres final, which is for the juniors. And again, we have 4 competitors in this one. Erin Robertson goes in lane number 3 for South Ayrshire. Katie Matts of City of Salford will go in 4. Laura Marzolini will go for Norwich in 5. And Megan Morrison will go in lane number 6 for the City of Leicester. Tallcross Pool, which of course held the duel in the pool back in December. And was very, very successful, that event here in Glasgow. There'll be another, hopefully, equally successful event at the Commonwealth Games in the summer. Just saw a quick shot there, as we did this morning, of the father of Roberto Pavoni.
Sitting next to James Guy's father, so 2 very talented sons that will be swimming tonight. No doubt they'll be very, very nervous parents sitting in the crowd. Not a lot that the parents can do now at this stage, so it's always interesting to see how they feel. They'll having a wonder what they're talking about. Whose son's better? I think my son's better.
Well, yeah.
No, I think mine's better. That's what you're saying?
Only one has a British record, though, and that is James Guy's dad, because James beating that best ever time in the 400 metres freestyle last night. Remember, you can always get in touch with us. If you do, with your tweets, the hashtag, which is BGSC14. Your message will get to us, and later on you'll hear Carrie-Anne and Hannah reading out your tweets. We'll mention as many of the clubs as we possibly can through the course of the evening. If your swimmer is in a race, likelihood is that he or she will get a mention for the club. So people listening out for your club. I know quite a few of the clubs are streaming this on their big screens. It's nice that you're getting a chance to, beside all the hard work you're doing at the various clubs around the country, you are getting a chance to watch some of the swimming as well. So we're going to go on to the second event of the evening, which is the junior 50 metres breaststroke. Erin Robertson going for South Ayrshire in 3. Katie Matts of City of Salford in lane 4. Laura Marzolini of Norwich in 5. And Megan Morrison of the City of Leicester in lane number 6. 3 English competitors again, 1 from Scotland, Erin Robertson going for them in lane 3. Once again, a splash and dash of a kind of different variety. See the butterfly? And here comes the breaststroke for the 4 involved. Fastest on paper is going to be Katie Matts. She's done a 32.77 to best time. Everybody else in the 33 mould. Let's see whether this shapes up that well. Well, 4 of them pretty much in the line with 3 of them certainly now as it gets to 25.
Yeah, it's all about the skills at this stage. 50 metre, you can't make a mistake, so it's all about the start, underwater phase, and then executing your race plan all the way to the wall and hitting the wall on a full stroke.
Katie Matts, City of Salford, is just going to get the touch here. 32.77 is her previous best time. 32.79 is her time on this occasion, so just outside her personal best, but it's the win that counts, really. Erin Robertson in 2nd place and Megan Morrison in 3rd. So Katie Matts, the winner of the junior 50 metres breaststroke final in 32.79.
Another couple of PBs in that race. Not for the winner, but just shy of her personal best by 2 100ths of a second. Should be pleased with the win and going a very similar time to what she went to qualify for the final. So excellent swimming. And it's great for the junior swimmers that they can come out into this venue where the Commonwealth Games are going to be held in a couple of weeks' time. Swim in front of a big crowd. They probably would have seen some of their stars or the people they look up to in the core room just beforehand, and they get to show exactly how they can do it, and it's fantastic that they get the opportunity here in Glasgow.
Coming next, we have the junior 200 metres freestyle final. I'm very much looking forward to the senior one later on. That's going to have all kinds of possible permutations and possibly, just possibly, another British record, or certainly an English record. Anyway, for James Guy, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's look at the lineup for the junior final of the 200 metres freestyle. Sean Muscroft of City of Manchester Aquatics goes in 1. Jordan Hughes of North Ayrshire in 2. Cameron Brown of City of Newport in 3. Duncan Scott of First in 4. Martin Walton of Hatfield in 5. Jack Smith of Plymouth in 6. Suleiman Butt in 7 for Aberdeen. And Daniel Jervis of Swansea in lane 8. That's your lineup for the junior 200 metres freestyle final.
Interesting just to bring your attention to the fact that James Guy's British junior record is 150.2 and Duncan Scott yesterday went 150.4. So is Duncan Scott the star in the making, hopefully following in James Guy's footsteps? Well, if he goes under his British record tonight, he certainly will be on the pathway to where James Guy is now, breaking British records and being the fastest swimmer in Britain for this event and the 400 metres freestyle.
Daniel Jervis followed by Sean Muscroft on to pool deck. 3 did personal bests, in fact 4 did personal bests in qualifying for this. Daniel Jervis was one of them in lane number 8. Here comes Jordan Hughes, also with a personal best for him, 153.49. There's Jack Smith, not whistling in the moment, in lane number 6. Definitely an old timer like me to understand the reference to that. Cameron Brown in lane number 3 for the City of Newport, representing Wales. Here's Hatfield's Martin Walton for England, and Duncan Scott of First. As you heard Ross mention, 150.2 is James Guy's junior record. 150.47 is the time that he set in qualifications. So he's got to find roughly about a quarter of a second, and James Guy, having got one record, will lose one possibly in the next couple of minutes.
Duncan Scott qualified over a second faster than anybody else in this field, but certainly don't write off Martin Walton of Hatfield or any of the other competitors.
Duncan has a birthday coming up the beginning of May, when he will turn 17. The first Scotland swimmer. Home turf, home pool, maybe a home junior record for him. So City of Manchester, North Ayrshire, Newport First, Hatfield, Plymouth, Aberdeen and Swansea represented in the final of this 200 freestyle for the juniors. We're going to see who's going to make the break. Making the break at the moment, Jack Smith in lane 6.
Yeah, fully expect Jack Smith to be going out fast. He is more of a 100-metre swimmer, so expect him to really push this event forward down this first opening 2 lengths. And then I imagine Jack Scott and the likes of the other guys will start to try and reel him in. But it'll be interesting to see whether Jack Smith can make that much of an inroad that he's got too much to do and the rest of the guys can't catch him up. But they look like they're trying to keep hold of his coattails, and they're opening 75 metres.
That might weigh him down a bit if he's wearing a coat. I wouldn't advise it. Not very streamlined, but he's doing all right at 100. He's going to be leading, but he knows full well that Duncan Scott's not too far away, and he isn't now. He's getting closer and closer with every stroke. Jack Smith, 53.04 in the lead. Duncan Scott menacingly just behind in 53.67, and Martin Walton in 3rd for Hatfield.
This is where the endurance boys start making their move down that 3rd 15. You can see Duncan Scott actually starting to take the lead now, and Martin Walton going past Jack Smith. This is where the race is won and lost. You need to have some energy down the last 50 to finish it off, but he's well on course to be going under 1 minute and 50 seconds, which would be a new British junior record if he can just carry this going.
Well, he looks very smooth, very efficient, very controlled, moving slightly over to the right-hand side of his lane just to keep a close watch on Martin Walton, who is his closest adversary. Martin Walton is actually coming right back at him here. There's about a body leg between first and second, probably just about enough for Duncan Scott to hold on. Now, can he beat the 150? He's going to do it. He has done it. 1:49.88, a new British junior record for Duncan Scott. Martin Walton in second for Hatfield, and third is Cameron Brown. So a record has disappeared from one of our young emerging English talents, and that means that one has gone over the border into Scotland.
That is rapid. That's rapid for a 16-year-old to be going under 150, and the way he swims it's just beautiful. You know, he's got such a lovely stroke. He didn't rush when Jack Smith went out. He knew what Jack Smith's game plan would be, and he kept calm, he kept relaxed, he kept to his own game plan, and also he kept his stroke looking lovely, and came away with an emphatic win in the end, 1:49.88, and that'll be the first time he goes under 150, but it won't certainly be the last.
Wow, 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 Kerry-Ann. What a way to start the final session for day 2 of the competition.
It's so good to see the boys swimming well. So we had Adam doing a PB in the first 50, and then we had Duncan Scott just smashing his PB, going under 150, breaking the junior record. I know we're all talking about James Guy, but I think we should all be looking at Duncan Scott for the future.
We should, especially from junior finals.
Yeah.
I mean, how inspiring must it be? They're in the Commonwealth pool, Commonwealth Games this summer, and they're seeing potential Commonwealth swimmers later on competing in their event. It must be inspiring for them.
Yeah, well, it's great for the juniors to get the second swim so they can see what it feels like and kind of get really used to what it feels like to be part of the crowd, what it feels like to, you know, swim in the final, like you say, swim in the same pool as people that are going to try and qualify for the Commonwealth Games.
Absolutely. And speaking of Commonwealth Games,
so earlier I had a chat with Dawn Pert, who is the team leader for the England team and the para swimming team as well. Hello, I'm here with Dawn Pert, who is the team leader for the England swimming team and the England para swimming team. Hi Dawn, congratulations on your new appointment as team leader for the team.
Thanks very much, Kerry-Ann. Really looking forward to this new challenge. I've been team manager for 2 Olympic Games and 4 World Championships, so really looking forward to team leader.
So what is it that makes you tick? Why do you get up in the morning to do this job?
I think I've probably getting up early mornings for all of my life. I was a swimmer and then I was a coach for 25 years and kind of fell into volunteer team management and then into full-time team management. And I guess the main part is organisation of the role, but the biggest buzz for me is the interaction with the athletes.
So you're not going to be team managing for the Commonwealth Games this time?
Correct.
But what would be your dream team for the operation side of things at the Commonwealth Games?
Dream team, I think, for Commonwealth Games is to ensure that all the sports science staff and all the coaches and my team manager can just allow them to get on and manage their roles, develop into that role. They've got good experience, or they will have good experience and good knowledge, and hopefully they'll be there to sort of support them and be a strategic role.
And now that you're not going to be team manager role, do you think you'll be able to have as much interaction with the athletes as you've had in the past?
I hope so. I think I'll still be there as a support and guide for the team, for the whole team, for the support and the athletes.
Now, I'd imagine you do a fair amount of travelling. So where is home for you? Where do you travel from?
Home's in the northeast of England. I live in Washington. I worked in Newcastle, so it's always been the northeast of England, and my office is in Loughborough, so there's a little bit of travel on a fortnightly basis, and then obviously with events across the world, it does mean a lot of time away from home. But I'm used to that with being through coaching and team management. I've been used to that, so it's just part of the job, and it's part of the excitement, and it's probably what makes me tick, the variety of the job.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Dawn. Best of luck for the Commonwealth Games, and I'm sure under your team leadership, the team will do a really great job.
Thanks very much, Kerry-Ann.
Dawn Pert there with Kerry-Ann Payne. Big job on her hands, big job for the selectors, including John Rudd, who's in charge of things out at Plymouth Leander in terms of getting the right mix for the England team for the Commonwealth Games later in 2014. So the first of our senior finals for the evening, an intriguing one too, because Ben Proud, the British record holder, is in here. Anthony James is in there also. Who's going to come to the fore? There is, you may notice, not in that lineup, Adam Brown decided not to do it.
Yeah, obviously decided not to do it. He has the 100 freestyle starting tomorrow morning, so he's probably going to put his feet up and rest while the rest of the fight out for the 50-metre butterfly. You can't actually qualify on a 50-metre butterfly outright, so you know, if they make the team in the Commonwealth Games, then they'll be able to swim it once they're selected. But obviously Adam Brown's taken that stance that he can't qualify, so he's going to focus on qualifying for the 100-metre freestyle tomorrow.
So two Plymouth Leander swimmers side by side. There is one of them. The main man is Ben Proud, 23.10 is the British record. Alongside him is training teammate Anthony James in lane number 5. Give you the 1-2-8 again in case you missed it on the graphic just now. Ben Lowe of Millfield in 1. Sam Horrocks of City of Manchester Aquatics goes in 2. Warren Cannon in 3. Ben Proud is the man in lane 4. What an emerging year it was last year for Ben Proud. Really, I think about 18 months ago, we hadn't heard too much about him. All of a sudden, he sprung to prominence last year. Started doing some really good times. And of course, is the British record holder of this. And will be pushing Adam Brown certainly very closely in the 50 freestyle and the 100 freestyle when we get to that for the men. Now, can we see a British record go? We could also see a Welsh record go here because Tom Laxton currently holds that at 24.05. We expect Ben Proud to be the class act in this field, but Tom Laxton will be looking to go sub 24 for the first time.
Yeah, that's right. He's already up into his stroke, absolutely flying. It's Ben Proud in the centre lane, in lane number 5. There's surely no doubt who the winner of this event's going to be. It is going to be Ben Proud, but how fast is he going to go? 23.1 is the British record.
And he's going to be right on the cusp, just outside. 23.42 for Ben Proud. 23.90 for Anthony James. So Plymouth 1-2 in the 50 metres butterfly, and Sam Horrocks in 3rd place. So as far as Tom Laxton is concerned, not quite the 24.05. He was hoping for 24.41 in 5th place, but Ben Proud looking for a hat-trick of titles here, and that's the first one for him.
Yeah, not as quick as we probably would have liked, or was certainly hoping for, but he certainly was very convincing in that. Went over half a second, and he just didn't really get his finish too well. Glided in towards the end, and that would have cost him a little bit of time, but it wouldn't have cost him 0.3 of a second. So if he had nailed his finish, he still wouldn't have broke that British record. But I imagine Ben has been training really hard for the 100 metres freestyle, so he's probably lost a little bit of speed, but he certainly will be gaining that in his endurance. So we'll see tomorrow how he goes on the 100 metres freestyle.
He might say bigger fish to fry, with the 50 and 100 of course being events you can qualify and get selected for the Commonwealth Games and the England team later on in the year. So a decent time, not a great time by his standards, but I'm sure we will hear details from the Plymouth Leander swimmer. Jodie is on pool deck, ready to speak to Ben Proud.
A fantastic race there. We saw you speechless in this event last year. How does your performance this time round compare?
It's not as fast, but I mean, I'm happy with the results. It's where I want to be right now, and I've done what I want to do and come in and protect my title, so I'm happy with that.
And we saw you at your debut World Championships last year in Barcelona. What lessons did you take through from that to this year?
Just be more calm when I come into my races. Makes events like this a lot easier, so it's fun.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Ben, and well done again.
So obviously not at the time that he wanted to do, but he's still ranked number 5 in the world so far this year. So it's still a world-class time for Benjamin Proud. But he'll be looking to go a lot faster if selected at the Commonwealth Games in 12 weeks' time.
On to the women's 50 metres breaststroke. Now, who's going to emerge victorious from this? We have a British record that's still on the books for 12 years, and somebody who is still here, but in a coaching capacity, Zoe Baker, set that 30.57 at the Commonwealth Games in 2002. Catherine Johnston is in that lineup in lane 6, and she is the Scottish record holder, 31.48.
I remember watching that race, Zoe Baker breaking the world record at the time, the Commonwealth Games in 2002. I was at home watching as a young lad, inspiring to hopefully be at the next Commonwealth Games, and it's something that I did. So she inspired a generation, and hopefully these guys on TV now are inspiring kids and swimmers, young swimmers at home, hopefully to be at the next British Gas Swimming Championships or even the next Commonwealth Games.
You always make me feel old. I commentated on that race, and you were at home watching it on telly as a wee Ben, as a wee laddie, as he was in those days. My, how he's grown. Not mentally, obviously. Right, so the 1 to 8, Imogen Clark of Davencio, 2, Andrea Strachan of Edinburgh, 2 Edinburgh swimmers side by side, Corrie Scott in 3, Sophie Taylor, of whom we are hoping for great things here from her, 31.04 is her personal best, and that will close in hopefully in the 30 stages for her. Sarah Vasey, Davencio 5, Catherine Johnson, Edinburgh 6, Beth Aitchison of Bournemouth in 7, and Katie Armitage in 8. It should be Sophie Taylor to win this, but you never know in a splash and dash.
Yes, looking at the reaction, she's already 0.1 up on Sarah Vasey, so that's going to have a massive advantage when we come to the wall. But it does look like it is Sophie Taylor that's just edging out of the rest of the field. For the rest of the girls, probably around about 5 or 6 of them all in a line just behind her. It's going to come down to who nails the finish. And it looks like it still is Sophie Taylor. It's just half a body length ahead.
5th in the world in terms of time. Well, she's improved on that. She now becomes 4th in the world in terms of time. 30.98 puts her above Dorothea Brandt, and she is just behind Leiston Pickett. That's a very good time. Exceptional time for Sophie, and a new personal best for her. First time she's been sub 31, and that is a world-class time in the 50 breaststroke.
It certainly has. And it just shows you how much these events are moving on. Zoe Baker is the British record holder, and when she did that, like I said, she broke the world record at 30.57. And Sophie Taylor, still incredibly young herself, went 30.9, so she's only 4.4 off what the world record was just over 10 years ago. So she's got I actually think that she's going to be the swimmer of the meet in the breaststroke events, and I'm looking forward to seeing her on the 100 metres breaststroke, and hopefully she can move this event forward in Britain.
Well, she won it by 0.45 of a second as well. 30.98 for Sophie, Sarah Vasey in 2nd, Corrie Scott in 3rd, but great to see that time come down. And as far as the Scottish record is concerned, Catherine Johnson 32.02, not quite on that kind of pace today for her. We're going to hear from the winner of that race and the 4th fastest in the world, Sophie Taylor, winner of the 50 breaststroke now with Jodie.
Congratulations, Sophie. Fantastic swim there. First time under the 31-second mark. Did you know you had that in you today?
Well, after my heat swim yesterday morning, I went 31.04, and my aim was just to go under 31 point, and I prepared well, ate well, slept well, and so I thought I had it in me, and I'm just glad I pulled it off.
You were world junior champion in the 100-metre breaststroke event last year, now British champion in the 50. Was this just a fun event for you today?
Yeah, it was just a warm-up for the 200 and the 100 to come, but it was good fun doing it.
You mentioned that you've got the 100 coming up later in the week. How does that race differ tactically to what you've performed today?
Not really that much, because you still got to go out like hard. You just think of it as a 50 and just try and hold off the back end, so it's not that different really.
Well done, Sophie. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
So next up, it is the men's 200 metres freestyle final. Oh yes, oh yes, there could be some momentous things happening here. There could be seismic things happening in Glasgow. We could have a little earth tremor in Toll Cross, because possibly, just possibly, the English record set in Rome in one of those suits that had a motor in it in 2009, set by a certain Ross Davenport, could go. It could. The British record could go, set by Robbie Rennick. Who knows? There's Gareth Mills of Sheffield coming on to Paul Deck. Braxton Timms in 8 for City of Sheffield. So 2 Sheffield swimmers in the outside lanes. Rob Bale of Stirling in 7. Callum Jervis of University of Bath. Now we're getting into the main movers and shakers. We've heard a lot about him this week. Here he is. Natty headphones from the birthday boy. Happy birthday to Lewis. Birthday today, 22 years of age. In lane number 6. In 3, here's Josh Walsh. Now, these two went head-to-head. Oh, he's a big boy, isn't he? Oh, should be a basketball player. He's absolutely massive, is Nick Granger. He goes in 5, but here's the man who has his eyes on the prize. James Guy. Even more flash headphones. I don't know how much those ones cost. From Millfield in lane number 4. And I'm really looking forward to this, and really I should get a word or two from the man who knows what it is to have the best time in England in this event, Sir Russ Davenport.
I think you're enjoying this.
I am.
And you'll be praying and hoping that this English record goes. And I tell you what, when you've got a record, everyone says the records are there to be broken. When they're yours, they're not there to be broken. They're there to be get close to. But I'll be very happy if James Guy goes under the English certainly qualification time or the nomination time of 1:46.52. But as long as he doesn't go 1:46.46, I'll be all right. So he's got 6 100s to play with.
I hope he's
in my eyes.
I hope he's hearing that. That's got to be an inspiration. He's not even ready. Look,
it's too cool, isn't it?
Oh.
He's absolutely
too cool for school.
He's absolutely mustard, this lad.
Yeah. Salt, mustard, vinegar, and pepper. This boy, all of them. This is his skipping rope to go with it. James Guy in 4. When you're ready, James. When you're ready, love. Come on. James Guy in 4 then, Nick Granger in 5, Lewis Coleman in 6, and Rob Bale, of course, in 7. Now, how is James Guy going to swim this? It's 4 legs of the pole. Of course, he's used to doing much more than that when he does the 400 freestyles. The event he came 5th in at the World Championships. A bit short for him, but certainly that target time, 1:45.99, by the way, is the British record of Robbie Reddick, is certainly in range. Should be. Let's have a look at the splits. You take us through the splits here, Ross.
Yep, 25.160. You know, he's not out rapid. He's out certainly on course of breaking that English record, and he could be on course of breaking the British record. But it's how he's recovered from last night. Super swim in the 400 metres. But he was going to go out for it as fast as he can, but it is actually Nick Granger that is taking this event out. But I would fully expect James Guy to be turning on the gas around about now, start moving away from the field. But it's interesting to see, as good a swimmer James Guy is, Nick Granger is better technically on the turns and off the start. So Nick's probably around about a couple of inches taller. He swims less down the stroke. So James Guy actually swims faster than anybody else in this field. But he is now starting to make his move on this third 50. And as long as he's got something left in the tank, he'll be powering his way down home to the final 50 metres. He's got to have a storming last 50 metres if he wants to break that British record or English record. He actually, to me, looks very tired, and he is probably going to win this race. He's probably not going to be as quick as we all think.
Into the last 15 now for James Guy. The time to look out for the English record, 1:46.46. Going to be close. It's going to be very close. I think you might be safe for a while here, Ross. You are. 1:47.54. Not quite as rapid as we hoped. Nick Granger fading into 3rd place. Callum Jarvis in 2nd. That winning time again, 1:47.54. Not even a personal best for James Guy. Season's best, but not a personal best for him. Callum Jarvis getting 2nd place. And Nick Granger's best time before today was the time he set in the heats at 1:48.81. So Nick Granger has improved on his personal best by about a 1/4 of a second.
Yeah, all this talk about James Guy and not really noticed Callum Jarvis had a fantastic swim in lane number 2. He has improved his personal best by nearly 1/4 of a second, and that is looking fantastic for the relay teams in Britain moving forward. James Guy's got plenty more in the tank, but I actually think, you know, after last night's exertions, he's probably tired. He would have loved to have gone quicker. I'm quite pleased that my record is intact, but you know, he is a quality. It's not going to be long before he's certainly knocking on the door of 1:44, which is a super world-class time that'll be winning medals on the international stage. But he's got a lot of work to do, but he is the real deal. Is James Guy, as I think is Nick Granger and the rest of the guys in that field. So be interested to see what he says, but I fully expect that he's tired from last night.
We will hear from him in just a few moments' time, but yeah, not quite as quick as he would have liked. The Welsh record not really tested tonight. David Davis is 1:47.31. James Guy is now on pool deck with Jodie to tell us what he thinks.
James, now we can see you're a little disappointed with that race. Can you talk us through that swim?
Yeah, I would like to go a little bit faster, but it was a great race, and it's a good team for Commonwealth Games. Hopefully we should get a medal.
obviously last night, a fantastic performance, new British record in the 400 metres freestyle. How did you refocus for tonight after the elations of last night?
I think it was good time last night watching a film with Cameron Curl. It was quite a nice time, but that's the main reason, I think.
Brilliant. OK, Tollcross, let's hear it for your new British 200 metre freestyle champion.
So great events there, Kerry-Ann. The men's 50 butterfly. Let's start with that one.
Yeah, Ben had a good swim. I think he'll be, he's happy, he said, where he is at the moment. So I think if he does do that swim at the Commonwealth Games, he will be looking to go under that British record again. And
it's great to have it at this stage in the year. Like we said last night, it's nice to have those areas of improvement at this stage, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Great for them to work on moving forward for this summer. Yeah. Now, Sophie Taylor, good swim there as well.
Yeah, I was really excited to see Sophie swim and to see how she got on for this competition, because she was she had been a little bit ill. She had a little bit of tonsillitis, so she had to actually have her tonsils taken out in December. So she was a little, unsure of how she was going to swim, but she absolutely smashed it tonight. First time under 31 seconds, 4th in the world. Fantastic.
We can sympathise about having the tonsils out. We've spoken about that earlier. James Guy seemed a little bit disappointed there as well.
Yeah. But yeah, he was a little bit disappointed about that.
Okay, well, we'll move on for the racing.
On to the 50 metres freestyle semi-final number 1. Yes, Fran Halsall not in the second semi-final. She goes in lane 4, the English record holder and British record holder. .24.11 is that British record. Rebecca Guy is in lane 5, no relation by the way. Jessica Lloyd in 3 and Grace Vertigant in 6. This should be all about Fran Halsall. We always say that. Anybody going to challenge her? Well, there will be a challenge coming in the next semi-final, but this looks like Fran's race to lose.
Yeah, that's right. She's already half a body ahead, and it still looks like she's not actually into 5th gear yet, probably around about 3rd gear. And it is Fran Halsall that tops the clock at 25.02. Rebecca Guy from City of Manchester Aquatics and 25.34, and Jess Lloyd, Olympian from 2012, 25.65. Very easy from Fran, very easy. Looks like she's starting to work on a different technique with James Gibson. We saw her this morning breathing every 2, a little bit different tonight. But obviously she is working on something bigger for the future, and it's great to see that Fran is easily qualifying for tomorrow night's final.
And Rebecca Guy with a little, but nonetheless still significant improvement in her time. Just Lloyd 25.65, just outside her personal best in 3rd. On to semi-final number 2 of the women's 50 freestyle. As I mentioned, there was somebody who went quicker this morning. It was Sian Harkin with a personal best time for her. She's in lane 4. Amy Smith has been the British number 2 under Fran Halsall in recent times, but on the basis of this morning she wasn't, but Amy will step it up, I'm sure, tonight. Lauren Quigley going in 3. She's got another swim later in the 100 backstroke. Still the fastest in Britain this year is Fran Halsall with that 24.38 that she did in Marseille. Can anybody challenge it here? We're looking for Amy Smith to respond in lane 5. Sian Harkin, can she back up what she did this morning?
Be excellent to see that, but it does look like it is lane number 3, Lauren Quigley. Normally a backstroker who's going first through to 25, but it looks now it is Sian Harkin that's going to come through to take this second semi-final, and she does in a time of 25.37, so slightly slower than this morning. Just got the hand on the wall first, ahead of Lauren Quigley of Stockport Metro, and 25.52, just edging out Amy Smith from Loughborough University by 5/100ths of a second in 25.57.
Slight concern there about Amy Smith to me. She was 5th overall, so she makes the final. Harriet Cooper, Emma Wilkins also getting in the last 2 places, but that was quite unlike Amy's kind of swim there. I thought she might have attacked it a bit more than she did. She did finish 3rd, and that is enough to get her through to the final tomorrow night, but didn't look as impressive as I hoped she would.
No, I don't know whether some of those girls were taking it easy, and you can't really take it that easy in the 50-metre freestyle. But having said that, she has qualified for the final by over half a second, or just under half a second, sorry, and that is a long margin on the 50-metre freestyle. So whether experience is paying there and she's just easing back, or whether she is not in the form that we would like to see her in.
So we have high hopes for the men's 100 breaststroke, don't we?
Yes, I'm really looking forward to seeing Adam Peaty swim. I think he's going to do something a bit special tonight. He looked great this morning, so if he can go close to 59.5, the British record, I think he'll really try and aim for that tomorrow night.
So we're aiming for that. That's what we're working towards. OK, well, let's move on now for the men's 100 breaststroke, where we're going to be looking forward to watching Adam Peaty competing.
Watching Adam Peaty perform this morning, and that time was rapid. Let's say time of just over the minute, 1:00:03. Well, he's going to go sub 1 minute surely this morning. That was a very, very impressive swim, and well, his coach Mel Marshall talking to her earlier on. I tried to get her to commit to what he might be able to do tonight. She didn't want to tell me. She didn't want to vex him. She didn't really want to put a hex on him, but she thinks he can do something special. He goes, of course, because he's the fastest qualifier in the second semi-final. But look at the names we got in the first one. Michael Jameson, Ross Murdoch, Craig Benson, all swimmers who've been under the minute mark.
And all Scottish as well. Michael Jameson will be in lane number 3. He's silver medalist on the 200 metres breaststroke. Craig Benson in lane number 6. Went to the Olympic Games in 2012, and Ross Murdoch, who's had a fantastic year already, and at 2013 as well, posting the fastest time of the Brits this year.
Scottish record holder is Michael, 59.89. Ross Murdoch this year has posted the best time of the Scots, which he did last week here. That's your 1:28 in this event. This is going to be quite a race, because you cannot hang back on this with the standard and the quality and the depth that we have in British breaststroking. Look at that. Jameson, Murdoch and Benson all hiding in there. Ross Murdoch 59.75 last week in this very pool. Should be a noisy one. Plenty of Scots to support for this home crowd, including the second fastest qualifier, Ross Murdoch, in 4. Now, can he back up that 59.75 from last week? Ooh, somebody got a flyer there. Might have been Jamie Graham in too, but I think he's okay in terms of reaction time. Really quick away, 0.63 as well from Russell Smith, both away pretty rapidly. Now, we'll keep an eye on Craig Benson in 6. He's had a pretty good start. Michael Jameson will keep his powder dry until the second 50, then start to push on. And Ross Murdoch's having a lively old start, shall we say, in lane number 4.
He certainly is, and this is what he needs to do. So when he goes head-to-head against Adam Peaty, hopefully tomorrow night. Adam Peaty and Ross Murdoch are 3 and 4 respectively in the world this year, so that's the quality of this field. Expect now Michael Jameson stop making his move up on the field. He normally is a 200-metre specialist. Probably doesn't have the speed to now cope with Ross Murdoch and Adam Peaty, but he will also be in there in the mix because he's a quality breaststroker.
This is quick. This is quick from Ross Murdoch. Very, very quick, and he beats the minute barrier. No, not as quick as Adam Peaty this morning. I thought it was going to be under a minute, but 1:00.16 for Ross Murdoch. 60.85 from Michael Jameson in second place, and third going to, just checking on a little count back here, James Wilby in 1:01.24, so 2 going sub 61. Actually a little bit disappointing. I thought we'd see a couple of swimmers under the 60 there. Ross Murdoch getting close, and he has of course gone quicker last week, and maybe it will go quicker tomorrow night, but 60.16 for Ross Murdoch with Jameson in second, Wilby in third, and Craig Benson won't be that happy with a 61.42.
He didn't look like Ross Murdoch was holding anything back there. 60.16. But let's see how he fares in the fight of the battle tomorrow against Adam Peaty, if Adam Peaty makes it, which I fully expect he will do.
Well, of course, we should mention there's a new breaststroke rule. It hasn't really affected anybody so far in terms of their finishes with the separated hands. It's a little bit complicated, a bit technical to go into here, but there haven't luckily been any DQ so far of our top swimmers, so we hope that pattern continues. There's some posturing going on down there as the second semi-final gets ready. Mark Tully of East Lothian's in 1. Here comes your lineup. I hope. Rob Holderness in 2 from Millfield. 3, Joe Wellstead of Stirling. 4, Adam Peaty. 1-0-0-0-3 this morning. Chris Steeples of City of Manchester in 5. Andrew Willis in 6 for Branwell working in, but swims for Bath these days. Tom Litton of Stockport in 7, and Tom Rook of City of Coventry in lane number 8. Massive PB for him this morning. Okay, Adam Peaty, do your stuff. Let's see what it's like off the start. He's probably not going to have the best start. He hasn't got the best start, actually, but this is where he comes into his own, or should at least.
Yeah, he doesn't have the best start in the world, and he doesn't have the best turns. It's something that him and his coach, Melanie Marshall, are working on a daily basis. But what he does have is incredible swimming speed. And you can see him now already edging his way, well, not edging his way, he's half a body length up on the rest of the field. And something that Melanie Marshall is trying to ingrain in Adam is he goes faster from the heat to the semi-final, from the semi-final to the final. So whatever time he does tonight, fully expect him to go quicker tomorrow night in the final. So he's probably going to light up the world rankings tonight, but then expect him to go quicker tomorrow. And this is a flying swim from Adam Peaty. He's only got 25 metres to go, and he's destroying the rest of the field.
Really attacking this race. Look at him. It's like the water doesn't stand a chance. Those arms and those legs are just powering their way through. We're looking for 59. Make it a 59. Give us a 59. Yes! 59.83. Fastest time he's gone this year. 4th in the world he remains, but he has improved on his best time set in Berlin earlier this year by 7/100ths of a second. Adam Peaty has set down the marker for tomorrow night, and believe me, he's going to go faster.
And he's somebody that loves racing as well. He doesn't get scared about racing anybody else. You know, lots of people sometimes post their fastest time in the semi-final, and when the race really comes down to it and the pressure comes on, they normally crumble in the final. He's not one of them, so he's going to be up for the fight tomorrow, up for the challenge, and it'll be interesting to see what time he can go. As you can see now on the screen, he's coming into the final 5 metres. He is hurting, but he nails that finish. A time of 59.83. He'll be happy with that, but he'll want to go quicker.
Should mention also that Andrew Willis missed out on the final. He was 11th place overall, Andrew Willis. Big surprise. Chris Steeples getting in the last position. Callum Tate in there as well, and Craig Benton, but no Andrew Willis in the final of the 100 breaststroke tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a world-class field event tomorrow night. Adam Peaty going in first.
Well, we mentioned Adam earlier, didn't we? What a swim.
Yeah, that was really great. I think I'm really glad that he went under the minute tonight. So, you know, it was a 59.8. He's 4th in the world, like the guys were saying earlier. Such an outstanding swim, but he is a racer and he will want to bet at that time. He didn't look all that happy at the end, which I think is quite a good thing.
Yeah, obviously there's maybe a few things that he feels he could work on, but breaking that minute barrier is just so amazing.
Yeah, I think for breaststroke boys, it's that the event has just come on so much and we have so many world-class swimmers. But tomorrow, Adam will have Ross Murdoch right next to him, so he's really going to be pushed for the whole way.
Yeah, I was going to say, so how do you think that's going to fare out between the two? Because it's great. We love the rivalry, don't we, between a few swimmers really pushing through to get those better times, because that's obviously what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be great, and I think Ross tends to go out quite quick as well, so I think it'll be great for Adam that he has somebody going out really quick with him and then holding it on, you know, towards the end as well. So both boys will be trying to push each other to go close to sort of the 59.5.
Yep, so we can't wait to see that final tomorrow evening. Now, speaking of the name Ross, and speaking of records being broken, not quite tonight. Ross Davenport's record still stands for the men's 200 free. However, we've got a bit of an interview with Ross Davenport, who's been doing something quite remarkable. Have a look at this. So, Ross Davenport, amazing commentary this week, but that's not what we're here to talk about, is it? Something to do with 2 marathons in a week. Are you absolutely crazy?
No, I'm not crazy. Not crazy one bit. I did the marathon last week in Paris, and I'll be travelling down to London tomorrow to do the London Marathon on Sunday, straight back up to do the commentary on Monday morning.
But Ross, you're a swimmer, you're not a runner. You didn't even do running when you were swimming. Why are you doing 2 marathons in 1 week?
As a talented swimmer, so that means I'm a talented runner.
I'm not sure if it works that way. You spent 90% of your time as a swimmer horizontal, and now you're expecting to run. What is that all about?
I can run it. I can do it. You know, you do the marathon swimming, which is obviously a lot easier than actually doing a marathon run. But you know, 2 in a week. You might not be able to do 2 marathon
I could
swims.
do 2 marathons. Right.
Have you done it?
I have done 2 marathons in a week. Yes, of course I have. I'm hard.
Yeah, but a marathon in swimming is only 10k, where a marathon in running is 26.2 miles.
Of swimming, absolutely max. Running, you can have a little walk, you can have a little stop, you can have some drinks. Are you going to do it in 2 hours then?
You go on your back.
Are you going to do your marathon in 2 hours?
No, it'll be a lot longer. It'll be a lot longer running. It's a lot harder being a marathon runner than a marathon swimmer, I tell you. I bet you could even do a marathon swim.
I almost feel like I need to pull you two apart. Now, listen, Ross, how can we vote? How can we sponsor you any money towards this event?
So we're raising money for children with cancer, and we have a Virgin Money account which is called Deranged Davenport. So if you just go on there and just Google it and search for it, that is the website, and any money that was donated will be going to children with cancer, which is a great cause.
It is indeed, and a cause close to your heart you mentioned earlier as well.
Yeah, that's right. We've been affected, I think most people have been affected by cancer, and having a young daughter 6 months ago, you know, it just shows you that, you know, kids also can have cancer, and it's a terrible disease, and if anything was to happen to my daughter, it would be, you know, devastating. I'd love somebody else out there to raise money on her behalf. So that's why we're doing it, hoping to eradicate this disease from everybody.
Well, good luck with the marathon on Sunday. We'll be rooting for you. I think we'll maybe set up a bit of a race for you two after as well, just see who's really that hard. But good luck with it, Ross. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, we've got a nice photo. Oh dear, Ross. Now listen, that is obviously, it's great for a great cause, but you know, we just want to point out that Ross is coming back to continue his commentary on Monday, so hopefully he'll be looking a bit fresher than that on Monday. But you know, 2 marathons in the space of a week is pretty exceptional, isn't it, Kerry-Ann?
Yeah, I am well impressed with him, to be honest. It is going to be a really hard thing for him to do, but I am quite impressed with him.
You put your foot down when he said about marathon swimming.
Yeah, I will always put my foot down when it comes to that. I mean, the cheek of it.
It is the cheek of it indeed. Now, great events coming up. We have the women's backstroke as well, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be really great to see those girls swimming. Georgia Davies, she's probably not as rested because she's already been pre-selected for the Welsh team, so who knows what's going to happen tonight in that semi-final.
And we'll chat about her as well. Now let's take a look at the medal presentation.
So it's great to see both of the Plymouth boys up there, to see Anthony James swimming well again, and also to see Ben Proud. It's probably great to have both of them training together at the same club, and it's really pushing both of them on by the looks of things that they're on the podium 1 and 2. A little bit of a shame though, I think that Adam Brown didn't do that, but at the end of the day he is a freestyle specialist, so he probably did this event just for a bit of fun.
Okay, is that what you've heard? Have you got any inside information on that one?
No, I don't actually, but I'm just assuming.
Kerry-Ann, come on.
No, sorry. I'm just assuming that that's what it was, but it meant that somebody else got to do the final that might not have been able to do the final. So yeah, it was really good.
And see the podium places, happy with those as well?
Yeah, well, you know, I think everybody assumed that Ben was probably going to win that. I think people thought he might have gone a little closer to his British record, but, you know, I think he's saving that for the Commonwealth Games.
OK, well, now it's over to Ross and Bob for the women's 100 backstroke.
Let's give you the lineup. In 1, it is Isabella Hindley of Chelsea and Westminster. Emma Saunders in 2 for City Manchester Aquatics. Kathleen Dawson of Warrington Wolves in 3. Lauren Quigley, see what she can do. She's already had 1 swim tonight. Going in 4, Jessica Fullerlove in 5, Alyssa Duffy 6, Stephanie Reynolds 7, and Katie Latham in 8. Other clubs I have mentioned: City Manchester Aquatics, Plymouth, Leander and Kelly College, and Thanet Swim in 7 and 8. So Lauren Quigley, one of our real emerging talents. Great talent from Stockport Metro. This is the event where, well, she will certainly, we imagine, go sub-minute tonight. Can she pull anybody else along to that time with her? Lauren Quigley going in 4, and off to a very, very good start. Good positive start is what you really need in the 100. Certainly on the backstroke, we can use that 15 metres, and she's used it pretty much to its fullest. So keep an eye on Katie Latham with Thanet Swim. She's had an absolute blast of a start in lane number 8.
Yeah, normally see Katie on the freestyle events, but she also is very good on backstroke. But it is going to be Lauren Quigley that turns first in 29.55, just ahead of Jessica Fullerlove on 29.55. 60.58. So nothing separating the first two on opening 50 metres. But Lauren Quigley has had a better turn than Jessica Fuller-Love, and now is starting to edge each stroke ahead of Jessica as we come into the final 20 metres.
Best time for Lauren is 1:00.07, so she's looking to go sub-minute for the first time, as indeed is Jessica Fuller-Love in lane 5. Now, can either of them achieve it? Close, but not quite a cigar. 1:00.01, 60.01 for Lauren Quigley. Jessica Fuller-Love in second with a 60.89, and third is Kathleen Dawson. Remember, top 8 times progress to the final tomorrow night. That should be quite sufficient for Lauren Quigley and Jessica Fuller-Love in 1 and 2.
Yeah, Jessica will be very happy with that. 60.001, or probably not just very happy. She'd love to have gone 2 100ths of a second quicker to go underneath that minute barrier mark. All the swimmers that love to go under barriers, whether it's a minute or whether it's 50 seconds, and she'd have loved to have done that. But it is a PB just by 6 100ths of a second, and Jessica Fuller-Love just outside her best time of 1:00.48.
Season's best for Kathleen Dawson as well for Scotland. So, Lizzie Simmons back again in lane number 5. Georgia Davis, who at the moment is ranked in the top 10 for the times this year from Great Britain. In fact, she'll have been knocked down a peg or two, because now we've had a 60.01. That time of Lauren Quigley has put her in the top 6 in the world for 2014, but we are expecting some quicker times here, certainly from Georgia Davis. She set her 60.45 early in the season. We know she's getting quicker. We expect her to go sub 60 here, as indeed we hope to see from Lizzie Simmons, who had an absolutely appalling 2013. Nothing went right for her. Had a car accident as well, had problems in the pool, changed clubs, was at Loughborough, went down to Bath. 2013, I think, is a year, Ross, she would like to forget.
Yeah, I think she would like to forget it, but I think she also needed to go through it. It was a transitional year. She came 4th at the Olympic Games in 2012. Her coach, Ben Tilley, moved to Canada, and she had to find a new club. She moved house. They say had a car crash. So, yes, it wasn't the year that she wanted, but I think she needed to do it at the start of the cycle of the 4-year plan. And now, hopefully, she's going to be reaping the benefits of all that hard work she put in last year into the next couple of years.
Also going in this, not normally associated with the backstroke, Rebecca Turner. We normally see her in the freestyle events, the 100, 200 and sometimes 400 events, but she's doing the 100 backstroke here. But she will not, I don't think, be in contention at the back end of the race. It'll be Georgia Davis and Lizzie Simmons. And this is going to be a good head-to-head between lanes 4 and 5. Nothing at the moment to choose between them as they go halfway down the pool.
No, Lizzie likes to go out fast, but so does Georgia Davis. Expect Lizzie Simmons to come back even quicker, because she is a 200-metre specialist. I've already mentioned that she came 4th in the Olympic Games in 2012, but we do not know what kind of form Georgia Davis is in, as she has already pre-qualified for the Commonwealth Games later on this year. But it was a fantastic turn from Georgia Davis. She is now being trained by James Gibson in Loughborough, the 50-metre world champion from 2003. Has put a lot of size on in terms of muscle, so been working hard in the gym, and that is reaping her benefits here as she goes into final 5 metres. This is an excellent swim from Georgia Davis.
Yeah, under the minute, no. 1:00.32. I expected her to do that. She's not quite got the fastest time of the year in terms of Brits, obviously, because Lauren Quigley has gone faster than that. But she has gone quicker than she did earlier on in the year in Marseille. 1:00.32 with Lizzie Simmons in 60.89, which is somewhat disappointing, because that's not really an improvement from this morning. Not a big one anyway.
No, it isn't. You don't know how much effort she put in there. She might be playing a little bit of cat and dog there, letting Georgia Davis take that out, go for the win. She knows she's going to qualify for the final, so can't read too much into it. But she did look like she was all in. Did look like that was what Lizzie Simmons had, but she is a fighter again, a competitor, and she'll be coming back tomorrow night to do battles with Georgia Davis and Lauren Quigley, Jessica Fuller-Love as well. So expect a big final tomorrow night. Actually, Jessica Fuller-Love and Elizabeth Simmons both doing exactly the same time, so they're joint 3rd at the minute. Georgia Davis in 2nd and Lauren Quigley in 1st.
and 7th in the world. So 1:00:01 is that time for Lauren Quigley, which takes her into the top 6. Emily Seebohm, Mia Nelson, Belinda Hocking, Megan Ney, Bettina Hosu are the only swimmers who've gone sub 1 minute this year. Now the men's 400 metres individual medley, and there are some big names in here, both from the current and indeed for the future, you would hope. Tom Hatfield, City of Cardiff, is the Olympian from 2008. Adam Harrison was the first on deck from Loughborough in lane number 8. Here's Matt Johnson from Bath University, coming up on deck after we've seen Chris Suggett. Here is Matt Johnson, was previously at the City of Sheffield, has now moved down to Bath University. University of Stirling's Ross Muir comes to his position, which will be lane number 6. Here's the British record, the English record holder, Roberta Pavoni. Tom Hatfield is the British record holder. No, Dan Wallace, by the way, Scottish record holder, is back in the States, where he's training, living and studying these days. Matt Litchfield, big PB for him this morning. Fastest qualifier from the heats. Lewis Smith, fastest Brit in the world so far in 2014. So a lot of permutations here, a lot of possibilities. Who's going to come to the fore? Robbie Pavoni looked like he had a lot left in the tank when he finished this morning in the 400 IM. What would your money be on here, Ross?
It'll probably be on Roberto Pavoni. He did look very easy, switched off on that freestyle leg this morning, worked the first 300. I've been really impressed with Max Litchfield this week. Fantastic 400 metres freestyle on day 1, going under 350 for the first time. I don't expect him to be pushing Roberto Pavoni, but he is certainly one for the future. Lewis Smith is a strong competitor, always there or thereabouts. So I think the race is going to be in the from 2, 3, 4 and 5. I fully expect Roberto Pavoni to be winning this event.
Eyes down, 8 lengths to the pool, everybody ready, and off we go for the butterfly leg of the men's 400 metres individual medley. As I mentioned, Tom Hatfield, the British record holder, in 1. Matt Johnson had a great junior year, now moving into the seniors in 2. Robbie Pavoni, the English record holder, in 3. Lewis Smith in 4. Max Litchfield, what a great improvement he made this morning from Sheffield, in 5. Ross Muir of University of Stirling in 6. Chris Suggett of Swansea in 7. And Adam Harrington of Loughborough goes in lane number 8. And the first split is Robbie Pavoni, 26.94, leading.
He certainly is. That's where I fully expect him to stay for the rest of the race. But this event is one of the most difficult events in the programme. It can change from stroke to stroke. And it's interesting to see, actually, Ross Muir. He won't be challenging to win, but you can just see how far he is back in lane number 6. But don't expect him to be that far back when it comes to the breaststroke. He will power through the field, but he will leave himself too much to do to catch the likes of Roberto Pavoni and Lewis Smith.
English record stands at 4:12.43 for Roberto Pavoni. British record set by Tom Hatfield back in 2009 in Rome is when we had those suits involved. 4:11.32. Scottish record, as I mentioned, Dan Wallace is at 4:13.72. Now, can anybody get anywhere near that? I must say the fastest time in the world is the Japanese Kazuki Hagino, 4:07.88, which is 3 seconds quicker than the fastest time in the Commonwealth this year, from Thomas Fraser Holmes at 4:10.68. I think it's fair to say our IMs need to move on a bit because we're a little bit off the pace at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Now, Roberto Pavoni will be looking to post a time that will place him high up in the rankings in the Commonwealth this year. Obviously, the top of the Commonwealth rankings is Thomas Fraser-Holm on 4:10, but not having it all his own way so far is Robert Pavoni. There's three guys at halfway mark, being separated by less than half a second. It is Pavoni that is out in front, Lewis Smith second, with Max Litchfield in third. If this comes down to the freestyle leg, Max Litchfield's in there with a chance, but it looks like these two guys are going to be starting to push away from Max. It looks like it's going to be a head-to-head between Roberto Pavoni and Lewis Smith.
And it should be a good one between those two. They're quite well matched on most of their strokes. Pavoni just has the advantage over Lewis Smith at the moment. Litchfield has not given up though in lane 5, and he's still very much in the mix. That'll be the 1-2-3 at the turn. Roberto Pavoni 2:37, so has about 1.3 advantage over Lewis Smith, who in turn has about half a second advantage over Max Litchfield. He is having a great day. Big PB this morning. I think he might be looking at another one here tonight.
Yes, it is, but Roberto Pavoni's just taken a second out of Lewis Smith on that opening breaststroke leg. He does the same again. He'll open a sizable advantage that will not be caught by Lewis Smith. As I said, Ross Muir in lane number 6 is showing what a difference a breaststroke leg can make. He's gone from last all the way up to 4th place now, and that's how important the breaststroke leg is. But if you haven't got the two other disciplines to go with it, you're going to leave yourself too much to do. But this is Roberto Pavoni's race to lose, as he is now 5 metres up on the rest of the field. It'll be interesting to see if Max Litchfield can get onto the tail of Lewis Smith and overtake him.
He's getting there. He is getting there. Nobody's getting close to Robbie Pavoni, though. Pavoni is away and in another race at the moment, providing he doesn't blow up on this leg. He's got 50 to go, and this is looking very good from the English record holder. 4:12.43 is the time. Probably not going to get that today, but he'll look for a rapid time if he possibly can.
It's looking quick. If he comes back in 29, he's going to be close to that English record. So everyone needs to get behind Roberto Pavoni here, because it potentially is an English record at stake. The English nomination time is 4:13.67. It's going to be underneath that if he gets his head down now.
And it's an English record, surely. Yes, it is. 4:12.24, new English record for Roberto Pavoni. 4:15.76 for Lewis Smith. Max Litchfield has just done another 3.5 second personal best. He's gone from 4:20 to 4:16, and he's a personal best this morning. So that is a massive, great chunk out of the time he'd previously done for Max. Gone from Doncaster and done very well in the city of Sheffield.
Yeah, so a new English record for Roberto Pavoni by 0.2 of a second, or 0.19 to be spot on. And that was a fantastic race. Didn't panic at halfway when the other two guys were with him. It's funny, that is not actually his dad. His dad is keeping very, very calm, which is unlike Mr. Pavoni, and that is actually James Guy's dad, who is waving him on.
Come on,
shake, that's it, shake his knee. Good lad, good lad. But what a fantastic race from Roberto Pavoni and also Max Litchfield. It's also great to see that Lewis Smith is getting back to his best, just a second off his personal best.
So personal best, obviously, for Robbie, 4:12.24. And a new English record for him. Lewis Smith in second. Max Litchfield has had a huge, huge chunk on his IM taken out. And Matt Johnson misses out on the medals this time. 4:21.90 for him in lane number 2. So a bit outside his personal best.
Congratulations, Roberto. You kept us guessing a little bit there for the first 200 metres, but then really took off in the final 200. Did you know you had a big swim in you today?
Yeah, I've been working a lot on my breaststroke over the last couple of years, because when I did my PB before today, my breaststroke was really good. Last couple of years it's been a bit off, so I really wanted to push that today. Hopefully it did work.
And underneath the Team England qualification time, you must be over the moon with that.
Yeah, that was my main target coming into this meet. Any other improvements on my time were a bonus, so I'm happy to have done a PB today. And really happy to be, well, hopefully be selected for my second Commonwealth Games.
And we know that your dad, Mauro, is your #1 fan. What difference does it make to have such a strong support network behind you at these events?
It's amazing having my family come and watch me every meet. They come to a big meet like this.
Thanks very much. much, Roberto.
Thanks. Cheers.
Well, that nearly brought a little tear to my eye. We're both welling up in the studio here. But what, actually, a little tear in your eye there. What a lovely thing for him to say at the end of a race. Firstly, we'll talk about the race, and let's just take a look, because that was fantastic, wasn't it?
It was a really great swim, a really solid swim from him. He knew that on that kind of last 100 that he was going to have to work on his own, which is exactly what he was doing. You could probably see the splash of the other boys, but his legs were coming in. A much different stroke to the stroke that we saw this morning. I mean, his last stroke was a real glide in, whereas tonight it was all about getting that time, and I know that he's going to be really, really happy with that time and going under the qualification time, which is what he wanted to do coming here.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw earlier, I would probably call that a very tactical swim earlier on today, because we mentioned about the gliding in to but I mean, you know, his dad sat there, must have been so proud, but equally, you know, it's tough for parents to be sat watching their children swimming, because they live in that lifestyle as well, aren't they?
Well, it's really weird when you're a swimmer. You don't think, you're just like, why are you shouting? You can't even hear me. I can't hear you in the water. What's the point in you cheering for me? But then when you come here and you see your friends and stuff, you totally understand and you feel those nerves and things. And you know, Roberto's dad is a really emotional person, and it's so great to see that emotion from him. But to see him well up then was really nice.
And a really proud dad as well. A proud moment to keep. I mean, it must be the same for you, Kerry-Ann. Your parents get up early, they take you to training, and as I said, you know, they're living their sort of lifestyle for you,
I think I don't know how they did it. They had no social life for 3 kids. My brother's 9 years older than me, then my sister, and then me. So they had no social life for all that time. But, you know, they lived the journey with us as well. So it's really nice that, you know, Robbie said that to his dad at the end.
And all those moments do boil down to get in incredible swims, taking the gold medals and being there to see that. Your parents obviously must have felt the same when they watched you on the podium as well.
Yeah, it's always my mum always does cry as well, usually when we have when I do swims like that, and she gets really nervous. One time I was swimming at the World Championships and my sister was in labour all in the same day, so that was a really pretty hectic day for my mum.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now just have a look at some of the medal presentations as well. Some of our athletes on the podium, which is great to see at the British Swimming Championships.
Yeah, there's James getting his gold medal, so he doesn't look all that happy. I know that he wants to swim a little bit quicker than that time, but you know, it's a great experience for him. You know, he's had to do this swim kind of on his own, and didn't probably see Callum at the end of the race on the other side of the pool. So I think, yeah, he's just such a great swimmer that he's so ready. He's so ready to improve every opportunity. He's going to go back, he's going to watch that swim, and he's going to pick it to pieces and figure out where he can go better next time.
Because you're saying he's a mature guy, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's only 18 years old, but he has all the videos of all the Olympic races on his phone, and he watches them and he watches them and he watches them to see what he can do, how he can improve them, and then he tries to put that back into the pool as well.
Yeah, and an imitation of swims as well. Is that
yeah,
right?
Apparently he can do a really good Robbie Rennick, so we might have to ask him to do that one day, I think.
And that's a voice impersonation or actual
actual swim.
Of a swim?
Actual swim impersonation, yes.
Okay, well, we'll maybe pick up on that a little bit later on, but now it's over to Ross and Bob.
And our final of the Paralympic women's 100 metres freestyle final. And Kira Shepherd goes in lane 3, Stephanie Slater in lane 4, and Susanna Rogers in lane 5. Not expecting a British record here. 106.42 is the British record for the S8s, held by Heather Fredrickson. So just 3 going to start, making sure that the blocks. What do you think about these? I say new blocks. They've been in for a little while now, Ross. Do you think this kind of track start blocks are favourable from a swimmer's point of view?
Yeah, I do. I think it took a while for swimmers to get used to them, because obviously you now have this wedge that you can push against. But it certainly is making a difference. The starts are getting really, really important now, and it's getting more like, you know, the athletics and certainly the track runners, where they've got something to push off. So yeah, I think it's you know, it's a way of improving the sport, and you know, I think the swimmers really like them.
Kira Shepherd for West Midlands Disability in 3, Stephanie Slater of Preston in 4, Susie Rogers in 5. A reminder that Our Paralympic swimmers are back here in Glasgow next week to compete, to try and get their positions at the Commonwealth Games for England, Scotland and Wales later on in 2014. That is a blistering start by Stephanie Slater, with season's best this morning of 1:07.33. We're going to improve upon that. We saw in the heats this morning that Susie Rogers came back very, very fast over the second 50, but she's not, the way things are looking, at a catch Stephanie Slater. That British record, by the way, is 1:06.42, held by Heather Fredrickson at the turn, 31.88. Well, maybe I shouldn't write off that possibility. She's getting pretty quickly.
Yes, she certainly is. 31.88. And the British record, as you just said, 1:06.42. So she's well on target to break that. She just needs to keep this rhythm going. Look at the power in her legs. All the power is coming from one arm and both of those legs. And she needs to have an incredible kick on her, which she has. Let's see, look at the time as she approaches the final 5 meters. It's going to be close, but I think she's just going to miss out on that British record.
Yeah, 1:07.20, so it's faster than she went this morning, but not fast enough for that British record. Second place to Susie Rogers in 1:12.33, and Kira Shepherd in third, 1:14.28. So very close by Stephanie Slater. She can obviously wait for that to happen maybe next week here in the Glasgow pool, or when she gets to compete at the Commonwealth Games later on in the year. But 1:07.20, Stephanie Slater with that winning time. Susie Rogers coming back very strongly as we expected on the second leg.
Yeah, see this finish, head down, throws her arm onto the wall, and she wins that race considerably by a good 6-7 seconds.
Qualified results for you: 1:07.20 for Stephanie Slater, Susie Rogers 1:12.33, Kira Shepherd 1:14.28. While we're waiting to hear from Steph, let's give you an idea of what's coming up next in the programme. We have the 100 metres backstroke for men, so we're going to see Chris Walker-Heaven go head-to-head with Liam Tancock. And Marco Loughran also in the mix there as well, so that should be a great thing to see whether Liam Tancock's back to his best again after basically having a year off last year because of injury. Liam Tancock in 5 and Chris Walker-Heaven in 4, and then it'll be followed by the women's 100 metres butterfly final. Fran Halsall back in the pool up against Siobhan Marie O'Connor, and everything she's been doing has been turning to gold this week. So far, can she carry that on? And then we'll finish off with a couple of junior races, the 400 IM and the 100 backstroke final at the back of the programme. Okay, let's hear from the winner of that race. Here's Steph now with Jodie.
Stephanie, congratulations. You absolutely smashed your personal best this morning. You've ducked under it again tonight. Where did that performance come from?
I wasn't really expecting to go that fast, but I'm really happy with my performance because I've changed my programme, so I'm swimming at the National Performance Centre now. So I've been there for 4 months and training's been going really, really well with Rob Greenwood and Graham, so I'm really happy.
Brilliant, and you had a fantastic debut international season in 2013. Did that give you a lot of confidence coming into this season and into this meet?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, the focus obviously since I've been back from Worlds has been to keep getting fitter and stronger, and obviously I've got the European trials next week, so...
Thanks very much, Stephanie. Congratulations again. Round of applause for our British champion.
So next week, if you're in Glasgow and vicinity, come along and support our Paralympians as they prepare for another big year for them. The next Paralympic World Championships for swimming will be in Glasgow. Look forward to that in 2015.
Yeah, something to look forward to for the Paralympic swimmers. They're in this very pool next year, the World Championships 2015. But this is going to be an exciting race. Very, very interesting to see how Liam Tancock backs up from a disappointing year last year through injury. He didn't moan about it, he didn't whinge about it, he just got on about it. And he cracked on, got onto training this year, and hopefully he can be back onto the British team. but he's going to have to beat an informed Chris Walker-Heaven, who's swimming very, very well.
So we're going to see the British record holder, the Welsh record holder. Liam Tancock is the British record holder. Marco Loughran holds that for Wales. There is Liam, who is so determined. Had a good long chat with him. The beard has gone. He's had a proper shave this afternoon because he did it in 2 stages. Had quite a beard to go yesterday. Had the George Michael look, which then became nothing at all. He really has had a proper shave. You can see that because the poor old chest is a bit red raw today. And Chris Walker-Heaven is his main challenger. Man who kind of took over the mantle as #1 in British backstroking last year, but Liam Tancock wants to reclaim that. Walker-Heaven goes in 4, Tancock in 5, and the Welsh record holder Marco Loughran in lane 6. This will be interesting because at the moment, Ross, I don't think Liam has got the start that he wants. I don't think he's got that flying start that we're so used to seeing from him.
No, he's been out for a long time with a shoulder injury, so it's going to really affect him on the start, and it's just affecting him full stop. And it's a shame for Liam because he's a very positive guy, and he's great to have around the team. But at the minute, he's got to beat Chris Walker-Heaven, which is a position he's not been in for over 10 years.
Now let's have a look at the starts here. He'll try and use as much of the 15 metres he's allowed, Liam Tancock. And he has pretty much. Well done to him, but Chris Walker-Heaven's got the better start.
He certainly has. Normally we see Liam go out really, really fast and try and hold on, and sometimes he hasn't been able to hold on. So I wonder if it's a different tactics now. He's had his shoulder injury, he's going out a little bit slower and trying to back end it. I know that's what he's been trying to do with James Gibson at Loughborough, but it is, at the minute, Chris Walker-Heaven turning first in 25.98, over half a second faster than Liam Tancock, and this is a position that Liam's not used to, but it looks like fantastic swimming from Chris Walker-Heaven. As long as he can keep this together, he'll be the champion of the British Gas British Swimming Championship 2014.
Looks very much that way. Liam trying to come back at him. He is coming back at him, and he's left it way, way too late. Walker-Heaven's going to get the touch. 53.82 is Chris Walker-Heaven's time. About half a second outside his personal best. Liam Tancock in second, 54.51, and Charlie Balderson in third. Disappointment for Marco Loughran, the Welsh record holder, at the back of the field in 8th place.
Yeah, that's right, but Chris Walker-Heaven just missing the nomination time for Team England, time of 53.73, and he went 53.82, so 9/100ths of a second outside that nomination time. But what you do have to remember is there will be a medley relay going, and they need a backstroker, so he's put himself in prime position to qualify on the medley relay, but all will be decided next week when the selection panel meet and they just sort out the team. But one thing's for sure, he hasn't done the nomination time, so it'll be fingers crossed to see if he's on that team for Glasgow.
53.82, the winning time for Chris Walker-Heaven, who's getting himself composed, and he will now tell us exactly what he thinks about that swim in the 100 backstroke with Jodie.
Chris, so close there, just outside the Team England nomination time, but it must be great to be back on top of the podium.
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to come back here and win back-to-back. Obviously, I was hoping for a little bit faster, but we'll see what happens.
And obviously, we naturally see you in the 200 backstroke more traditionally, but you've kind of got this sprint focus going on at the moment. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, since last year where I had a great leap forward in my 100, now focusing more on that, so no more 200s for me.
Thanks very much, Chris. Well done again.
Yeah, we need a fully fit Liam Tancock to push Chris all the way, and it wasn't quite on par here today, but much slower than he has been before. But Liam kind of working his way back in the 100 backstroke, and it's not quite there yet, nor was Chris on the day, unfortunately. So although he will get, as you mentioned, Ross, a medley swim, whether he gets the individual swim, we'll have to wait and see. 100 butterfly for women is, I keep using the word intriguing. I think it certainly applies to this one. 100 butterfly final, Tilly Gray and Sophie Smith, first out on pool deck, Loughborough and Bath, respectively in 8 and 7. Then Georgia Barton of City of Manchester Aquatics on pool deck in lane number 7. Charlotte Atkinson of Plymouth Meander, who really are the club to watch in terms of their swimmers emerging. Alice Thomas of Wales, the Wales record, by the way, held by Gemma Lowe, who set the time at 57.43. Rachel Kelly for Loughborough going in 3. There will be a big roar, hopefully there will, for the swimmer in lane 4 when she emerges. Here she comes. British record holder is Ellen Gandy. Though she'll be looking to try and knock that one off if she can, Fran Halsall. It's not her best time, it's 57.4. The British record is 57.25 because Ellen Gandy is no longer a British swimmer, chosen to swim for Australia where she lives these days. So I can't look at the British record and say, well, it's not a British record, if you know what I mean. It's kind of a British record. So can Fran Halsall find something? Siobhan Marie O'Connor will have her eyes on that prize as well.
Siobhan's had a fantastic meet already. We're only just over 1.5 days in. But Fran Halsall will not like to be beaten in anything. I mentioned it yesterday, not even in a game of cards. So it's going to be an interesting race.
57.96 is the nomination time for England. So, Fran Halsall, Siobhan Marie O'Connor. What are we going to see from both of them? A great start from Siobhan in lane number 5, getting a better start than Fran Halsall, and that's rare.
Yeah, it certainly is, but these two girls are now way ahead of the rest of the field already after 35 metres. Siobhan always attacks her races very, very quick, as does Fran Halsall. So, you know, these two girls have got exactly the same tactics, and Fran is edging out in front, just under 0.3 of a second. In 26.63. Well, I expect Siobhan Marie O'Connor to start trying to eat into that lead as she has a little bit more endurance due to her medley background.
57.25 is the British record held by Ellen Gandy. Siobhan Marie O'Connor wants this. Fran Halsall wants it maybe even more. I'll tell you what, Rachel Kelly wants it too. Coming very, very strongly indeed. Rachel Kelly might get this! And she does! Wow, that's an upset. 58.40, Rachel Kelly absolutely storming through from Loughborough. An amazing performance. We were talking about 4, we were talking about 5, we didn't talk about 3, and Rachel Kelly has snuck that on the finish, and Fran Halsall has been reduced to 3rd place.
What a fantastic swim from Rachel Kelly. Didn't talk about her one bit until the last stroke, and she came in and spoiled the party from Siobhan Marie O'Connor and Francesca Halsall. Training partners of Fran is Rachel, and look at this, she was behind with 4 metres to go, 3 metres to go. That's when she took the lead right on the last stroke, and she took the win from Siobhan Marie O'Connor by 2/100ths of a second, and just over 0.3 ahead of Francesca Halsall. That is a PB for Rachel Kelly by 9/100ths of a second, and what a swim that was. Certainly, like we said, upset the party, and that is interesting. That is interesting. What's going to happen now on the 100 metres butterfly? Of course, it's another one of those events where they're going to need a fly swimmer for the medley relay at the Commonwealth Games.
Well, Rachel has put herself right in the frame there. 58.40, and that sneaks just behind Siobhan Marie O'Connor in terms of the overall standings, but Siobhan 58.34, not good enough today.
Rachel, what an incredible swim. I don't know if you could hear, but you had the crowd on the edge of their seats this evening. Can you just explain to us how you're feeling?
Pretty pleased with the swim. I mean, I would have liked to have gone quicker, but couldn't ask for more than a win.
And you train at the Loughborough ITC under the guidance of James Gibson, train alongside the likes of Fran Halsall and the other sprint champions, swimmers. How does that affected your training?
It's really good. I mean, like, Fran's always good to train with, like, pushing me along. So, yeah, it's really good.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Rachel. Round of applause for our British champion. Well done, mate.
Metres individual medley final for the juniors to come in just a moment. So we look down the times in the 100 butterfly for women. Siobhan Marie O'Connor, as mentioned approaching 58.34, but that was a great time by Rachel.
Really was a big surprise, and that's what we like to see. That's what we like to see in swimming. Surprises come in left, right and centre.
So, right, where do we start? Carry on from there. That was incredible. Let's start with Stephanie Slater's swim.
Yes.
First off, brilliant swim from her, wasn't it?
That was a great swim from her. You can really tell that the move to the Manchester Aquatic Centre, that she's moved to the centre there, has really made a big difference. You know, she's gone 2 PBs in 2 days, so I don't think she would be happier than that.
Absolutely. And then it's two controversial races. First off, the men's backstroke. We kind of, all eyes were on Liam Tancock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I mean, he has just been injured, so I think, you know, he was kind of struggling a little bit with that. But we also had that 100 fly then, which was so fantastic to see. Such a close finish at the end. Both girls, well, all 3 of the girls, sorry, kind of just pushing past Fran at the end. But I think that was a bit of an upset, I would say, for Fran. They train together every day, so Fran, she doesn't like losing, so I think she'll be a little bit upset with that.
Because Rachel, the last sort of 15 metres, just clawed it back, didn't she? The eyes were sort of on Francesca Halsall, what's going to happen there, and then Rachel Kelly just pulled that one out of the bag.
Yeah, I think it was a really great swim. She's obviously been working on her finishes, and she absolutely nailed it just then. And
we can't speak highly enough of Francesca, so to be training together is a great thing, isn't it, for them both?
Yeah, it's really good for her. They're constantly chasing each other, so if Fran doesn't want to be chased by Amy Smith, who does freestyle, she does butterfly, and then she's chased by Rachel Kelly, so she's constantly got that competitive edge, and she's constantly got that fight from everybody, from anywhere she goes. Yeah. So I think she's really enjoying this season and the competition that she's getting from everybody.
And great to watch for us there. We'll just have a look here at Roberto Pavoni on the podium there, looking incredibly happy, and rightly so, Kerry-Ann there.
Yes. He'll be really pleased with that swim. It was under the nomination time, so all that training, doing 80,000 metres every single week, going up to altitude is really paying off for him. And it's always nice to see his dad in the crowd as well, and just have a little cry. I think we both had an emotional moment, but we're over that now.
Mid-swim, an emotional cry.
His dad is just going to be absolutely beaming with pride there, just to see his son on the top of the podium and getting that medal.
And you mentioned earlier about the altitude training. For those people that didn't hear that this morning, just explain a little bit about that.
So there's a mountain, it's called Sierra Nevada in Spain, and it's about 3,000 feet above sea level, and I've been there many times before. It's really quite boring, but it's a great place to go for the altitude training. So what you end up doing is increasing the oxygen in your blood, so that when you come back down to sea level, you swim really fast.
Right, well, I think most swimmers now will want to go and do the altitude training like Roberto Pavoni to perform like that. Now it's over to Ross and Bob for our next event.
I don't know if you're dropping hints there, Hannah, or not, towards me or possibly to Mrs. Davenport, because who will be with me tomorrow, I'll be joined by somebody far more vivacious and curvaceous and lovely, Joanne Jackson.
Thank you for that, Bob. I'm sitting here thinking you're going to miss me. And actually,
Who
you're
are
looking
you?
forward.
I've forgotten already.
You're looking forward to.
You're dead to me now. Right, the junior 400 metres individual medley. And Joel O'Halloran of Derwentine in 1. 2 is Tom Slater of East Invicta. 3, Tom McLagan of Kelly College. Luke Thomas of Wickham District in 4. Oliver Jeremy of Hamilton Waterlooville in 5. Jordan Hughes, Swansea, goes in 6. James Rowe, City of Newcastle in 7. And Ben Evans, representing Thanet Swim Club in Kent, goes in lane 8. So what you saw Roberto Pavoni do, these boys are going to do just a little bit slower.
Yes, you certainly would expect that. Roberto Pavoni breaking the English record on this event in the senior final. Just how much would these guys have been watching that, watching their idols swim, watching them warm up and the way they prepare for a British Championship. And now it's their turn. Haven't seen the seniors do it. What can the juniors do? This is the future of British swimming right here. 16, 17 years of age. And like on the seniors, probably a little bit more so than the seniors. The lead will change hands, probably on every single stroke. And at the minute, it is lane 7, James Rowe from the city of Newcastle, turning first in 101.34. Second place is Ben Evans from Thanet Swim Club, just a lane above him in 102.13.
Glad to hear you getting the words in before you return on Monday. Always good. I'll sit down, you can take over.
I'm just going to sit here and not say anything now, let you do everything towards you, on your own. You might be pleased about that.
Yeah, I just went silent at the thought, but I better pick up at that point, shouldn't I? Look at the centre lanes are dominating now. It's changed around a little bit with Luke Thomas up in the centre, but James Rowe just about holding on. Then it's Luke Thomas, Oliver Jeremy in 3rd place, Tom McLagan in 4th place, and not much to choose between them on this backstroke leg. As we always say, it's lighting the blue touch paper next for the breaststroke leg, which will sort them out, because 4 of them are pretty much in the line. James Rowe on the far side of the pool, Luke Thomas right in the centre alongside Oliver Jeremy, and we're looking at lane 3 too with Thomas McLagan coming through, and well, all 4 of them are going to go to the wall pretty much at the same time, just touching first, I think. Wait for confirmation. Yes, it is Oliver Jeremy, 2:12.37 at the halfway stage. Second is Tom McLagan, and Luke Thomas in 3rd with James Rowe in 4. But who has the best breaststroke? We're going to find out in the next minute.
Yeah, we saw this in the senior race as well. 3 guys went into the halfway mark, the 200 metres, all in a line, and then Robert Pavoni extended his lead by a second over the rest of the field on the first leg of the breaststroke. Is this going to be the same in the juniors? It looks like there's 2 of them now extending their lead, and it is going to be Luke Thomas and Oliver Jeremy in lanes 4 and 5. They're extended, in lanes 3 and 4. Thomas is from Kelly College, is going to be turning second in 2:51.91, and it is Luke Thomas that turns first, just a second ahead.
Good scrap on the breaststroke between the swimmers in 3 and 4, Tom McLagan of Kelly College and the Wycombe District swimmer Luke Thomas, and they're not giving much, but all of a sudden Luke Thomas is giving just a little bit more on the breaststroke, and is now about a body length clear of the swimmer to his left-hand side, furthest away from our camera with the green cap. It's Luke Thomas. Next time he turns, he'll be going into the freestyle leg, the front crawl, with an advantage of about 1 to 2 body lengths in terms of time. That lead at the moment is just about 2 seconds between Luke Thomas and Tom McLagan, with James Rowe back in 3rd.
Yeah, fantastic swim from Luke Thomas so far in the opening 300 metres. He's got 75 metres to go now. He's got a PB of 4:37.12. As long as he doesn't fall off the cliff, he's going to do a massive PB, but can he hold on to the win?
That was the time he set in the heats, Ross set earlier on today, so he hasn't had a lot of recovery time, but 4:37.12 he'll be aiming for. What's he got to do? He's got to do a 34 coming back.
Yeah, but he's probably going to get a PB, but is he going to get the win? Because now the race is starting to close up on him. Lanes 3 and 5. By every stroke eating into that lead. I don't think he's done enough. It looks like he's being swallowed up by the swimmers either side of him. And it does look like it is going to be Oliver Jeremy that's starting to edge out in front, and there's only 15 metres to go.
Well, he's another of the 4:37 brigade, and he's going to go well inside 4:37. This is going to be a massive PB for Oliver Jeremy. 3 seconds and more. 4:34.12 for him. Tom McLagan in second, 4:35.43, and Luke Thomas third, 4:36.02. So the man we thought was going to go on and win it didn't in the end, because Oliver Jeremy's freestyle, his front crawl was better. 4:34.12. That is a massive PB. In fact, I think a PB for the top 3 there. It was Jeremy, Thomas and McLagan all getting personal bests.
Yeah, fantastic swim. Came from nowhere. Didn't have the greatest breaststroke. He was probably around about 10 metres behind with only 100 metres to go, but he clawed that back and took the win in the juniors 400 metres medleys for men.
Here comes the classified results. True James Alexander Corden style. I'll tell you, Oliver Jeremy 4:34.12, Thomas McLagan in second, Luke Thomas in third, all with personal best. Applies, I think, to James Rowe in fourth as well. So well done to all of them in the junior 400 IM.
The top 5 all doing personal best times. This is time to do it in the final. And the
final? No, the penultimate final of the afternoon is the men's 100 metres backstroke. So again, we saw that scrap between Chris Walker-Hebben and Liam Tancock earlier. The juniors are going to have their own little race now. And that is the lineup. I'll give you the clubs as well on this one. Cockermouth for Oliver Smith. City of Aberdeen for Jack Ness. That's Jake Tyson of Team Ipswich coming on to pool deck. Martin Townley of Borough of Southend is in 7. Jack Ness from City of Aberdeen goes in lane number 2. Craig Bowman of Carnegie in 6. Cliff Leanders, Joseph Hume in lane number 3. Kunmi Ogunfibo of Beckenham is the swimmer in lane number 5. And the fastest on paper going into this race is the Cockermouth swimmer Luke Greenbank, and he'll be swimming in lane number 4. Personal best for him of 56.23, so he's in an area that nobody else in this field has been. Nobody's been down the low 56s apart from him. So we'll see whether the Cockermouth man, everybody in this field bar 2 are English. Craig Bowman's representing Carnegie of Scotland, and Jack Ness for Coast. He goes in lane number 2, City of Aberdeen, for those who don't know. 2 lengths of this Glasgow pool. Backstroke. And, well, like we saw in the previous race, expecting quite a few more personal bests. This pool seems to be a pretty quick one. Certainly for the younger swimmers who are trying to make their way forward. Remember, you are allowed to use 15 metres before you come up, and most of them using about 13 to 14.
Yeah, Jack Ness used the whole 15 metres in lane number 2, got the best start of the field, and he is currently out there in front. And this looks like it's going to be an outside smoker. It's going to be a TV swim. All the cameras are going to be focusing on him down this opening 50, but can he hold on? This is like Liam Tancock of old. He used to go out flying down the first 50 and holding on.
0.68 the gap at the turn. That's a massive gap. Now, surely he's gone off too quickly here. Is he going to be able to hold on? This is a really, really good swim by the Aberdeen swimmer. If he can keep this going all the way to the wall, it's going to be a very, very fast time. But they are starting to reel him in now. Luke Greenbank in lane 4 with the yellow cap is going to overtake him. Luke Greenbank is now the favourite to win this race, and is going to win this race by about half a body length in the end. And he touches in 56.31. Not quite a personal best, just outside that for him. Second place, Joseph Hume. Third place, Kunmi Ogunfibo. And Jack Ness, who led that for about 75 metres, finishing in 5th place.
Yeah, he's got incredible speed as Jack Ness from the coast in Scotland, in Aberdeen. Just needs to work on the back end of his race. But if he's got that amount of speed, he can put the fitness towards that, and hopefully one day he can finish his race and he'll be a super backstroke swimmer. But this is Luke Greenbank finishing his 100 metres backstroke in a time of 56.31.
Now we'll have it back, go on. 56.31 the winning time then for him. Joseph Hume in second, Kunmi Ogunfibo, there you go, nicely to return. 57.35, Craig Bowman in 4th place. So in the end, a sizable win in terms of time, just over a third of a second for Luke Greenbank, with Joseph Hume 56.69 for him in 2nd place. And that is a personal best by almost a second by Hume in 2nd place.
And it was a PB by Jack Ness by 0.2, so that tactic obviously worked for him on that occasion. As soon as he adds a bit of fitness to that 100 metre backstroke, expect him to fly down the second half of the race.
Now, I think my pen is going to very shortly run out of ink after writing how many PBs we've got so far just tonight.
I know, yeah. I must admit I was not watching that at the end of that race. I wasn't sure if that was another PB, but we've had 8 PBs so far tonight in the winners of all the races, so I'm sure there's more in total of everybody that's done PBs tonight. But so great to see so many people swimming well at these kinds of meets. That's what we need.
It is indeed. I mean, we saw in the men's junior IM, the top 3 all gained PBs, which is great for, obviously, for all 3 swimmers swimmers, but all 8 in the race as well, to be gaining that amount of PBs at junior level is what we want to see.
I mean, these guys are youngsters, and you know, they've probably never really been in a final like this before, not when they can see people like Roberto Pavoni swimming, and I'm sure that they all got a little bit of inspiration from him, and you know, did that last 100 absolutely amazingly.
In the Commonwealth pool as well. So speaking of the Commonwealth pool, speaking of the Commonwealth Games and the selection process, we touched on it earlier. So just to reiterate to people that may have just tuned in, how many of our team potentially will be selected?
Yeah, so there's 36 people that can be taken on the team, which is an absolute maximum, 36 people.
Right.
And the way that they can get selected onto the team, we'll only find out on Wednesday, pretty much.
And that's Wednesday at the end of the competition.
Wednesday at the end of the competition, yeah. And how they'll be picked will be whichever athletes are highest ranked on the FINA points system. So whoever's closest to the world record, basically, whoever's going to win the medals, that is what the England team are looking to do at the Summer's Commonwealth Games.
So somebody such as Roberto Pavoni or gold medalists, in fact, they won't find out until Wednesday next week.
Yeah, well, I mean, someone like Roberto Pavoni, he did a really great time then, but I know that the world record for the 400 medley is a lot quicker than that, so it'll just totally depend on how high he is on that ranking. You know, he's pretty high up in the world ranking at the minute, but on that FINA point score, it's a different story.
Because you would kind of assume, people watching may think, gold medalist, surely he'll be selected, but it's not a given, is it?
No, absolutely not. It's about who does the quickest swim, as in who's going to have the highest FINA ranking score on those swims.
Okay, so let's have a look there at the men's 100 backstroke presentation. What an event, what a race that was to watch, Kerry-Ann.
Yeah, it is really nice to see Liam back up, to see Liam there swimming and doing what he's doing, and I would just recognise the back of that head, which is my husband, David Gary, handing out those medals. So it's really nice to see Liam back up there. He only got back in on the 4th of January this year, so for him to, you know, be back up and to be second in Britain again, I think that's a really confident swim for him. So who knows if he's going to make the team. It would be really great to see him back on the team, but I guess the one that we really need to talk about is Chris Walker-Hebburn. He was a little upset with the time. I think, you know, he'll look to swim a little quicker than that. You know, we were talking earlier about the relay spot, so there is a 4x2 relay available, and they need backstrokers and breaststrokers and for butterfly swimmers to do that. So Chris is the fastest backstroker, so it will depend if everybody is under the nomination time for that.
Indeed, and obviously a great swim by him, but we were kind of looking at Liam Hancock there thinking, what's he going to do, because he's had intensive rehab, he's had an injury, coming back to this event must have been quite difficult for him. Do you think this will knock his confidence slightly, or do you think he's that professional, he'll just get back on and continue?
He's a really professional swimmer, and I think that he will get back on, and you know, this is a confidence boost for him to think that he's only been in for 4 months or less than 4 months, and you know, he's done a pretty decent time, but I'm really glad he got rid of that beard.
Yeah, well, we were wondering if that was going to happen. We went in stages and it was off. Did help him swim though, because he did have a good swim granted to him, but you know, all eyes on the gold medalist there.
Yeah, on Chris Walker-Hebburn, I think what they're doing down in Bath is obviously working for a lot of their swimmers. Michael Jameson, Siobhan Marie O'Connor, Chris Walker-Hebburn, Callum Jarvis as well in the 200 freestyle. He came out of nowhere and he swims with Dave McNulty as well, so a lot of really good things coming out of Bath.
Yeah, and great that they're all training together, because we've mentioned Siobhan Marie O'Connor a lot in 2 days. Great meet for her.
Yeah, she's swimming really well at the moment. She's got a lot of other events that she's got to do this week, but for her to come in, have a great swim, I think she'll be looking to do really well in the 200 medley. Is my understanding of her is that is her favourite event. That is the one that she really wants to do well in, which is later on in the week.
Okay, well, let's move on now, and we'll hand you over to Ross and Bath.
For the final of the afternoon is the junior women's butterfly final. That's your 1 to 8. Georgina Pryor-Hoddesdon in lane 1. Chloe Barrow of Kelly College in 2. Laura Stevens of Plymouth in 3. Amelia Kleins of Leeds in 4. Anna Newlands of Cockermouth in 5. Isabel Grant of City of Sheffield in 6. Tane Bruce of Carnegie in 7. And Constance Dean of Maidenhead goes in lane number 8. So the 100 butterfly. Who's going to fly on this one? Can anybody get close to the 61 position? I think 60 is probably asking a lot. There's a few in the 61 range. Amelia Klein has done a 61.45 before now. Laura Stevens has done a 61.75. And Anna Newland's 61.73. So they would like to get around the 60 point if they possibly can on that. Let's see who is most likely to do it. In terms of the start, another good start from a lead swimmer. Amelia Klein in lane 4 has got off to a decent start, but it's a pretty even break at 25.
Yeah, it certainly is. Isabel Grant of City of Sheffield is the only one that's gone the closest to the 60-point mark. It'll be fantastic to see some of these swimmers in the final of the junior 100 metre butterfly going a 60-point, but a little bit close to the wall there. It was lane number 4 turning in first place, 28.40. Just 0.2 faster than Constantine Dean in lane number 8. So it's lane 4 and 8 heading it out to the halfway mark.
Going to change a bit this one, I think, or maybe not in terms of the leader, because the City lead swimmer Amelia Klein is looking very strong indeed, and nobody is really coming back to her. Now, can she do a 60-point? It would be good to see a 60-point from the juniors here. I think we might possibly get one here too. Wow. We have, yeah, that's good. Very, very good. A new personal best by over a second for Amelia Klein. She did a 1:01.3 before. Now she's done a 1:00.37. Isabel Grant in second from Sheffield, just slower than her personal best. Third, Alan Newlands, but wow, that is a swim and a half, isn't it, from the lead swimmer?
Absolutely fantastic. And 60.37 over a second PB for the swimmer from Leeds. Absolutely brilliant. Born in 1999.
Yeah, I fancy 99 just now.
Yeah, well, she was born in 99, Bob.
Little ice cream with a flake in it, yeah?
What were you doing in 1999? Celebrating your 60th birthday, no doubt.
I received a telegram from the Queen, though, yeah.
Fantastic swim, absolutely brilliant. I wonder where that would have put her, actually, in the senior final. I'll have to check that. It would have put her quite high up.
Yeah, what a swim. But she didn't do that, actually, when you think about it, in the heats, because that would have got her through, maybe the semi-finals, too. 60.37. She won that by virtually a second over Isabel Grant in second. Anna Newlands in third. Constance Dean in fourth. Well done, Amelia Klein. Leeds definitely on the comeback trail.
It's set to be a great week. It's meant to be tough.
What a great swim for her there, a PB as well. Again, as a junior, another PB.
Yeah, so Amelia went at 60-point, which is a really great thing. Sorry, a whole second PB. So for her, she'll be really, really pleased with that swim. She was a convincing win. She was a whole body length ahead of the girls there. So I think she'll be a really happy girl tonight.
I think she will indeed. Now, very strong swim from her. Great start, great turn, great finish is kind of what it's all about, because the second you lose the start, the turn or the finish, then it creates a problem.
Yeah, well, in Britain now we need to work on our juniors, because a lot of our older athletes have retired, so the likes of Rebecca Adlington, Ross Davenport and everybody. So it's what we need to do is make sure that the youth are really seeing the key points that we need to work on. And for Britain, that seems to be the starts, it seems to be the turns and the finishes. The race doesn't finish until you hit the wall. So we need to make sure that the juniors are seeing that and getting a chance to practice that, which they are here, which is great for me to see.
Indeed. I mean, obviously not like Roberto Pavone's heat this morning, that finished into the wall. Let's pretend that one. We're not using that as an example. It was a tactical swim, but it was a beautiful glide, though, I must say.
Yes.
But great for the juniors to be here, because, like you say, we've had a lot of swimmers have retired since London 2012. Ross Davenport, Joe Jackson, Rebecca Adlington, and it's great for these guys and yourself, to be here, to be part of the event, to be commentating and doing presenting as well, and to be watching these juniors. They're going to be here looking up to you guys, surely.
Yeah, well, we're hoping that, by still being here, we absolutely love it. We're all swimming geeks. We love to be here. We love to be part of this and watching and just seeing things, and it's great for me to be here. And I hope that what I've done for open water swimming and what I've done for British swimming has inspired at least one kid to get in the water and get swimming and to achieve the things that they want to. Then that makes me happy, and it makes all those 5 a.m. starts completely worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have a look at the medal presentation now as well. Fully deservedly so as well. Look at that smile on that face.
Yeah, she's looking really happy. Rachel had such a great finish then, which made a really, really big difference to the end of that swim. Siobhan looks pretty happy as well, and Fran will be a little bit upset with that swim, but she did have a great 50 freestyle semi-final, so she'll be looking to make sure that she wins that again, that race again tomorrow night.
Yeah, because she's got a pretty busy schedule this week, hasn't she?
Yeah, it's fairly full on. I think she's got a race on every single day, at least one race on every single day. relay, and then when you go to the Commonwealth, if she's nominated, she'll have the relays to be added in on top of that as well, so she'll have a lot to contend with.
Indeed. Now, we just had a look at the senior sort of final there, but backtrack a little bit to juniors, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Take yourself back to 15, 16 years old, obviously only a few years ago. But, you know, how was that for you when you saw sort of an aspiring swimmer, and you have a role model as well? Who did you used to look up to?
Well, I was really lucky when I trained at Stockport Metro that I got to train with Steve Parry, Adrian Turner, Graham Smith. So in there we've got 2 Olympic medalists. So to train with those guys, I was 15 at the time, so it really grew me as a person, and I learned a huge amount from those boys. Some not so good, some really good, I must admit.
We'll just talk about the positives.
But I mean, it was really great for me, and Steve Parry's always been my role model, and just because he's so professional, but he has such a great time doing it, and that is really why he won that bronze medal in Athens, was because he's professional, but he absolutely loves doing what he does.
Yeah, he's great to listen to, because he's so passionate as well, and I can imagine that there will be a lot of people inspired by him as well.
Yeah, well, he's still involved with swimming. He's still, you know, trying to get youngsters how to swim and teach them how to swim, and you know, he does a lot of the presenting for some of the radio stations as well, so he is still here, and he is probably the biggest swimming geek of all, so he just absolutely loves it.
He does indeed. Now, speaking of loving it, great evening we've had tonight. What stands out for you?
Standout performance for me probably will be Adam Peaty in that 100 breaststroke. He still has the final to come, so he's shown everybody what he can do. You know, 59.85 he went, which is a really great time for him, under his best. He'll really be looking to make sure that he has a much quicker swim tomorrow, and he'll have that with Ross Murdoch swimming next to him.
Indeed.
So yeah, be interesting.
And any other standout, because we've had so many tonight, and I'm only letting you say a few, and I know you want to talk about them all, but who stands out as well?
Rachel does for me, Rachel Kelly in that 100 butterfly. You know, I don't think anybody thought on the first 50 that she was going to do that, but she had an absolutely storming finish last 15 metres, and she touched the wall first.
Indeed. Now, we have our commentator here, who's been doing the in-house commentary. Oh, here he comes, very quickly, just putting his face in there. But Alan March, I'm going to hand you my microphone. I don't know if this is a good idea, but we do hear you in the pool, in the venue, giving some very top pointers about our swimmers. So I'm going to pass you my microphone for now.
It's a brave choice. Give me a microphone. It's really hot where we are. You look like a fan and all sorts. It's just raining in beauty, and then you send me in here in the middle. I'm actually crouching. Is that showing? Look at that crouch. Yeah, really hot. And then they put the air conditioning on at -19. So then you get
about you, more about swimming.
Oh, the swimming. Swimming's great. To be honest, yesterday we had a pigeon in the trading pool. What's that about?
It's not a swimming meet if there's not a pigeon in the swimming pool.
Well, that's true, and it was caught with the swimming net. I hope they actually got fumigated the net before they started using that to fish people out with as well. Joanne Jackson's my partner in crime for this. And did you know Joanne's got hairy hands?
She does not have hairy hands.
I know, but yesterday, now the commentator's curses. I know, commentator's curses to say the wrong thing, which I do all the time. But yesterday she said, "Oh, it was so exciting. The hairs on my hands stood up. I offered her some waxing. My wife does waxing, so we're going to whap those off tomorrow." I didn't realise she was related to Chewbacca. What's that about? Anyway, you two look lovely. I'm off.
Okay, listen, I knew that was a dangerous idea to give Alan March the microphone, but he does obviously, as him and Joanne Jackson are doing the in-house commentary as well, done a very good job of that, as long with Ross. We want to say a huge good luck. So we'll see you tomorrow morning at 5 to 9 for the live stream.